Hey guys, Chris again from Brewing, and today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to shorten your brew day. Stay tuned. Alright, so we're talking about shortening our brew days. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, if you're like me, your time is at a premium. You know, you got kids, a wife, a husband, significant other, full-time job. You don't have as much time as you'd like to dedicate to brewing. So in order to be able to brew and making that possible to dedicate time to it, we got to shorten the brew day to make time for other things, you know? So, how do we do that? My first step, the first thing I started doing, is do the prep work before the brew day. You know, if you've got 10, 15, 20 minutes the day before, even a couple hours before, whatever you can do, man, get your water ready. Some of that stuff, you might not think it takes a lot of time, but in the end, you know, if it's something you're doing before, heating your water before all, you got to do that. That's just, an added time, and it's something easy to do. Just, the day before, the night before, go get your water, do your brewing salts, get your cups, your measuring cups, your spoons, all that stuff. Get it out, lay it out, get it all set up beforehand, and that way, the day of, when you're ready to go, you've got that all set up. There's no setup time, no prep time. You're just ready to go and, bang it out. And that was the first step for me to, really, getting my water together. Now I got the RO filter. It takes, pretty much all day right now to get me, my 7 gallons of strike water. So I got to do that day before, or, I'm gonna be waiting forever before I can brew. My next step, number 2, I got this from Brewosophy, coined the phrase, brew, shorten, shoddy. What does that mean? Shorten your mash time. Shorten your boil time. I mean, a lot of us, we learned, that traditional 60-minute boil, 60-minute mash. It doesn't have to be that. A lot of the conversion of the mash takes place in that first, 15, 20, 25 minutes. I mean, you will take a little bit of bump in efficiency if you shorten your mash, but, you put an extra pound of grain in there and you should be good to go. I mean, it's trial and error, but it's enough to shorten your brew day. Go half hour, 45 minutes even. Anything, if you're trying to shorten it, trying to, keep your time to yourself, any little bit helps, And the 30-minute boil, I understand a lot of people don't want to do this because, DMS and whatnot, but I've been doing 30-minute boils for a while now, and I haven't had this issue. Then again, I don't use a lot of Pilsner malt, but I've had no issue, going the short and shoddy route, doing 30-minute mashes, 30-minute boils, but, it all depends on my time, and, I brew at night, so I don't want to be up doing a 4 or 5 hour brew day. So for me, this is what works. 30, 45-minute mash, 30-minute boil. If I'm doing something like a hazy, or I've done my a Philly sour. I did 15-minute boils on those just to get everything sanitized, and it came out fine. Again, it's trial and error. Do it at your own risk. Don't take my word for it. But again, if you're trying to shorten the brew day, these are some good tips and ways to go. All right. Now, number 3, another huge thing, upgrade your chiller setup. No one likes waiting for that for your wort to chill down to pitch. With the original, coil that I got, the original chiller that I got, it was taking me, 45-ish, half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even more, to get down to pitch temp. Now, I upgraded to the Cusp Brewing, their all-in-one, which is very similar to the Jaded Hydra, or not, this Jaded Scylla, and now I'm, pretty much 15 minutes and I'm down at pitching temp. So, another huge, huge impact. I mean, there's 30 minutes right there, again, that I saved. So, again, chillers, huge deal. Help you really get your, get that wort down to pitching temp in no time. And again, if you're going to do this also with your chilling, try to get movement, whether it's a whirlpool arm to help you, or, get a really sanitized, your mash paddle or a spoon. Stir that up and keep the flow moving, or move the chiller around while you're doing it. Anything, in this chilling process to help will cut a lot of time off the brew day. And kind of in sync with this, if you're really struggling, I know from, boil down to about 100 degrees, I can get there in about 5 minutes. It's really from that 100 degrees down to pitch temp is that extra, 10-ish minutes or so. So if you're really struggling to get down under 100 degrees, maybe try using Kvike. Vike yeast. You don't have you get that down to about 95 to start pitching that. So again, if you struggle to get from that 100 degrees down to your pitch temp, there's another time savings right there. And along with that, I know the Australians are big on the cubes. You need to kind of go in hot, the no-chill method. You can do that too if you're comfortable with your sanitation practices and all that. It's another good way to help cut some time off the brew day. So, I've put a lot of these in there. I prep the day before. I'm doing shorter mashes, shorter boils. I got my chiller upgrade set up, and now and I'm on a mash and boil in 120, and I think I can, normally I'm done without cleanup, without including cleanup, just the brewing process. I'm normally from start mashing to pitch about 3 hours, which is pretty good. So I normally start mashing around like 7 at night. So by 10, all I got left is cleanup time. So again, these are some things that have helped me really shorten my brew day, allow me more time to brew, allow me to brew more often. So again, just some helpful tips and tricks that I've learned. And it's really up to you whether you want to take them or not, but I'd say give it a shot, especially on something like a New England IPA that doesn't need a long boil time, or a sour that doesn't need a lot of boil time. Just you're not trying to get a lot of IBUs. Anything kind of in that range, light. I'm gonna try a stout coming up with this method, and I'll see if I get the darker caramelization that we're looking for with just doing it short and shoddy like this. But we'll see. I think it's a good thing to try. I've been doing it for probably over a year now at this point, and it's been working out for me. The beer's still coming out good, so I don't think anything that's going wrong is process-wise. So yeah, I think, and again, if I was on propane, say, or I had a 240 volt system, maybe I wouldn't do this, but because the heat up times on the 120 and the mash and boil are so long, I think the only way for me to really create the time I want and take the time I want in brew day is to go shorter and shoddier. I mean, if I could heat up in 15 minutes, say, to strike temps and to boil and all that, maybe I'd go the full 60 minutes. But right now, it's just not something I want to do. I'm not trying to be up till 1 o'clock in the morning brewing. It's just not my thing. Yeah. And again, another one that I just thought of is overnight mash. You can try that. It shortens it turns your brew day into 2 days, but it's, you set your stuff up, you mash in, what does that take, 10, 15 minutes, you leave it overnight, get that set up, and then all you got is the boil time, so you could do that too. I haven't tried this method yet, but I know it's something that works. I know some other guys in the the homebrew club, Brewtubers online, check us out. Do some overnight mashes, and again, if you have an electric system like an all-in-one, it's great. You can set the controller up and it'll maintain your mash temp all night. You could also turn it off and just insulate it, but again, it's another savings that you turn maybe 30 minutes you spend one day, then you got an hour and a half the next day. So you could split it up. Here's another one, yeah. So again, do what you like, but these are tips that have helped me shorten my brew day and allow me to dedicate the time that I want to brewing, because I'm not spending as much time, so it's not taking time away from family, work, anything like that. So it's created me a lot more opportunities to brew. So try at your own risk. I'm just one guy, but hey, it works for me. Again, so if you don't have a ton of time to dedicate, or maybe you only have 1 day a month, now this isn't going to be to shorten your brew day, but you want to make the most out of your brew day, maybe try something like this. I know the guys at Exit 12 Homebrew do, double brew days a lot. They brew, maybe they're the partner team. If their schedules don't always line up, they only get, maybe 1 day a month to try this, so they double batch it. They'll do 2 brews in a day. If you're already going to dedicate, a whole day to brewing, why not brew 2 batches and just throw caution in the wind and go for it, go big or go home. That way you get 2 batches in the pipeline and you only spend 1 day doing it. If you don't have a lot of time, that's perfect if you already know you're going to waste, you know, you're not waste, but if you're going to spend your whole day brewing, do that, double batch it. Another thing, you know, a lot of us, you know, a lot of you guys probably still doing traditional 60, 90-minute matches, 60, 90-minute boils. During that time, that's a perfect time to clean, whether you're waiting for your boil to heat up or in the middle of the boil. You're going to check it every 10 or so minutes, you know. If you have a multi-vessel system, clean the mash tun, or if you have an all-in-one, you know, clean the grain basket, clean the grain bag. Do some of that stuff. You still got a dirty fermenter. That's a great time to go clean that still if you need it. Get your sanitizer set up in that fermenter. Sanitize. Do all sorts of things. There's ways that you can utilize your time more effectively so you're not spending, you know, an hour afterwards cleaning or, you know, whatever. You can clean as you go. Typically, I'm going about every, you know, 2 weeks ish. So sometimes, yeah, I got my brew bucket sitting there with PBW still in it, so during that mash time or during that boil time, I'm in there scrubbing it out real good, cleaning it out, then setting it up, getting my sanitizer ready for it. So it's a great time to use that downtime in the brew day to do other things, clean it. You got some kegs that need to get cleaned, you got some other equipment that needs to get cleaned, or some stuff you're tinkering with. It's a perfect time to do that. You don't got to waste other time when you've already dedicated this time to brew. So again, it's up to you. It's all about you, but some helpful things that I've learned along the way so far, and it's working out. So again, if you want to see more about what I'm up to, you can follow me on Instagram at Burgles Brewing. You want to see more about the homebrew club I mentioned earlier, Brewtubers, brewtubers.com. Go check us out. And along with that, I'd like to thank all these sponsors of Brewtubers. You guys are awesome. You got Yakima Valley Hops, the beer and wine hobby shop, 5-Star Chemical, Imperial Yeast, and Brewing America. Go check all those out. They got great stuff. Whether you join the club or not, they're, you know, they're big names in homebrew and they have amazing products. So go check them out. Go support them. If you want, go check us out. Support us. And again, it's been fun. Until next time, I'll see you later.